What's going on, Z Trader, Zeno Trader here, and today we are here with your daily market recap. If you find any value in what it is that we do here, consider subscribing for more content and market updates. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and destroy that like button for me for the YouTube algorithm. Follow us on Instagram and join us live every Monday through Friday during market hours on our Discord server, where we have over $5,000 worth of learning materials, all for the wonderful price of, drum roll please, free 99. That's right, absolutely free to join. The link is posted as always in the description below. Be there or be square. Lastly, remember, this is not investment advice. This is strictly for educational purposes. Do not hop into anything discussed here without your own due diligence, as these are not trading signals, but rather my thoughts on specific securities. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, let us get into the day. Wow. All right. So, what you're looking at is a chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was down today 282 points. We did have some mixed economic data that was released. I did say yesterday, to be fair, in the last video, which you should have watched, and if you did watch it, you would know what trappings to have been paying attention for today. We had economic data released all today. We had the Fed speak. They didn't say anything shocking. Of course, they don't want to upset the markets. They didn't say anything out of the ordinary that we didn't basically already know. Dark times, a lot of stuff ahead, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So they're there to print more money if they need to. They're ready. All right. They're not changing interest rates. They're keeping interest rates low. Yeah, a little reaction to that, if anything at all. Nobody cares because everybody was pretty much expecting the Fed to make that decision. So, what does this look like to you? It looks like a reversal. Maybe I'm blind. I don't know. Maybe I need better glasses. Or maybe I need to get glasses, period. But don't look now. But this is our second red candle on the daily chart on the Dow. Are we coming back down? Is this the beginning of the end that was prophesied from the great beginning by the oracles of Wall Street? I don't know. SPY. Let's take a look at her. Only down to $1.79, which isn't bad considering that we were down a little bit more than that, but we came back up. So yesterday we had an indecisive close. Today we had a much more downward decisive close. Again, this could be a sign of a trend reversal. We'll stay tuned if it is. And see, the thing about these types of moves is you have to use your own judgment. If you're looking for puts, because these things happen so fast that by the time you recognize the pattern and we get down here, it's already over. And you're like, dang, I missed out on the reversal. So I'm not saying put your whole account in SPY puts, but what I am saying is that you got to learn how to recognize this stuff before it happens. So we've been overbought on the RSI on the daily chart of SPY for a gazillion years now, and it looks like we're starting to come down. So, and it's really not being driven by any super negative economic data. But I just think the markets are like, all right, this is getting out of hand. Investors are like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, we need to take profits. We shouldn't even be up here. And I think once that starts to set in, we'll start to see a overall reversal. We should get back down to the 200 MA at some point. Also, keep this in mind. There is a gap to fill, ladies and gentlemen. You see this right here? You see this gap? We're getting closer. If we fill this gap oh my God, you're going to make $1 million on puts. All right. The next 1 or 2 days will be crucial. If we go down tomorrow and we get closer and closer to filling this gap, I'm telling you, I got my finger on the trigger already, and we ain't even get there yet. I'm telling you, you heard it here, folks. This is your opportunity. If you've never made money trading, if you whatever experience you come to the table with, SPY puts right here. All right. If we get below 317, it's going to shoot down real fast. It's going to be a long candle. It's going to be a long red candle. It's going to shoot down real fast. Or it may happen gradually over the course of 10, 15 minutes. But every gap has to get filled. And we got one right here, too, that needs filled. Oh, man. I mean, this is going to get ugly at some point. Because we got to fill every gap, ladies and gentlemen. So get prepared. Keep your finger on the trigger. Because I know one thing. I'm going to make a lot of money on this play if we do get down that far. So we got a little bit more room to go. We're at 318 now, 318.95. We need to get down to 317.05. So anything below 317 even, gone. And this is a big gap, as you can see, huge. And this one's even bigger. So let that sink in. Also, there's another gap. I mean, I could go on for days. But eventually, and just a little background about what gaps are is there are differences in price. So, like, nobody got a chance to buy or sell SPY in this zone. It just shot right up to the next price level. It just ignored all the limit orders that's sitting at these levels. So all the buys and all the the sells that are in here get filled instantly when we hit this level. It triggers just boom, swoop. So it triggers off a whole bunch of sell orders. It fills a whole bunch of sell orders when we get here. So that's why you get the down so suddenly. The long candles down so suddenly, because these orders now get filled because they didn't get filled. That's why it's called a gap. So enough with that. I think we're having a reversal here. If we get down lower, we can look for this gap fill. Everybody should be able to make a gazillion dollars with this. If you and SPY is cheap, and the spreads are excellent, so there's no reason why you can't make some good money with this gap fill. If in fact, well, not if, but whenever we do fill this gap, because we will fill it, whether it's this week, next month, or next year, this gap will get filled. All right, enough of that. Let's go take a look at the support and resistance zones on TradingView. And it looks like we are at a kind of support of the previous pivot point, which is R3. We're right there. Yeah, we're right there, right on it. So one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to reject from here or break through it and hit P. P is 314. So if we break this R3, remember I told you we got that gap, and we know that 314 is below the gap. So if we get anywhere in here, it's done. SPY's done. It's over. Right? It's got that gap fill. It's going to gap fill probably all the way down to P and then bounce up. So we're right there. We're right there, man, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is big. Tomorrow is going to be very pivotal. If we fill that gap tomorrow, oh my goodness, that is going to be crazy. But I'm here for it. We could also bounce from here and then chop sideways, and then either hit this level, which was the old R4 level, which is like 324, and then come back down. Because it looks like we about tried to hit it once, but we didn't quite get there successfully. So this looks like the peak of SPY civilization at around 323.54. Now we're coming back down off of that. So yeah, I mean, this looks ripe for the reversal that we've all been waiting for, the long prophesied reversal that the Oracle has spoken of. So, I don't know. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to go one of two ways. Either we get that gap tomorrow or we bounce up and hit this old level and then chop around and then either go back up or come back down. But either way, this gap is going to get filled. So, that's it for, oh, yeah, we got to read the tea leaves on VIX. Let's see where VIX is at. And remember, I told you yesterday that VIX looked like it was about to bounce. And sure enough, it did. Although it came down, chopped sideways. But this here looked like it was leveling off and get ready to bounce. And it did. I told you. But it could fall back down to just as easily as SPY could continue to go up. I don't know. We'll see. Or it could go to R1, in which case SPY is really going to be done. And if you look after hours, it's kind of a little bit pumping. It fell down a little bit. You know, VIX being down and the SPY being down shouldn't happen at the same time, because that means that that's a fake dump on SPY technically, or could be. Doesn't always have to be, but could be. But you know, it's up after hours, not by much, but we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day of truth. Whether we fill this gap tomorrow or what, the gap on SPY, that remains to be seen. But yeah, that's what the tea leaves say. So that's all for this segment. Now, for the segment we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, let us get into the plays. All right, so we have some Apple calls going on. We took a bite out of the apple. We had a nice little support level going on here. Now, this was kind of risky because we only tested this support once, and I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. This is a dead sin in trading. You're not supposed to test a support once and get in. You're supposed to test it multiple times. The more tested the support level is, the stronger it is. But the 50 EMA was right there, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going in. And we got the bounce right there. We had the little pin bar going on, and so I was like, you know what? I'm getting in here. Now it was also the fact that we filled this gap. So I was like, all right, we got the little gap fill. We got that out of our systems. Usually we get a little bounce after we get the gap fill. So I felt good about this entry. So I was like, yeah, let's get in. Got in, got up here, took some profits, came back down. I wasn't as scared because I took a lot of the profits off the table. Then it kept bouncing, boom, stayed in, got out when I saw this retreating, and we're done. So that was a good trade. Next trade we got going on here is Boeing. Boeing was a big loser today, down $16. Well, that was at this point. But yeah, I mean, this was wicked. I mean, they just came out of the gate, and they weren't even trying to get up. I mean, if they could have even broke another 5-minute candle upwards, we could have got this gap fill. But nope, we didn't even get the gap fill. But remember that for a future date, because we're going to need to fill this gap eventually. But anyway, so, we got this little support going on down here. I was going to wait for calls because I was going to bet on the gap fill today. I'm glad I didn't get super, because I'm very malleable with my positions. And this is one that was dangerous because I didn't set an alert for this. This was one I just did off the cuff. So my first initial inclination was to jump in calls when I saw this, because I'm like, if we can break this conventionally in the second candle, then we're going to get the gap fill and I'll be in there like swimwear. But I didn't get the second 5-minute close above this. Instead, it went below and just kept going down. And I'm like, uh-oh, now I might have to switch to look for puts. Broke this, got in here at the second. Once I saw that this one, because we could have got rejected, so I had to wait for this candle. Boom, got in, down, got out. Bang. Clean, nice entry, nice exit. Took some profits right here, got out. All right. Next play we got the SPY calls and put. Remember yesterday we swung 100 SPY calls. This was our entry yesterday for those calls. All right, and we got out right here. So we didn't make that much on the swing. Probably only like $700 on the swing, but I mean, I'll take it. It's better than nothing. And then because I didn't like the choppiness, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cut back. Actually, I was up actually like I think 1,500 at one point, but then I saw it went down and I got out. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna keep losing money. But trying to be greedy, should have got out up here, but whatever. So it's better than a loss. And then I was like, wait a minute, if we break the 200 MA, you might want to start looking for some puts. And then I was looking at VIX, and VIX was pumping, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not looking good. I'm going to look for some puts. So then we got this candle down, and then we got this one up, had the confirmation candle, entry right there, boom, 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 all the way down, out. Nice and clean. All right, we got the Tesla calls going on here. So Tesla, this was a little bit risky, because this wasn't one that was done with an alert. This was one that was done just by looking at the charts and predicting based on price levels on technical analysis. So that's pretty much how we did this. But yeah, we got the entry on the second candle, the 5-minute confirmation candle of the breakthrough, stayed in. It was a little scary because we did go back down, diamond hands, and then saw it going down, got out, got scared. It continued up throughout the day, but get your money, get out, right? And because Tesla calls are so expensive, there's no room for error, right? So this was a decent play. Zoom, that was sexy. Got into some Zoom calls. Got the entry at the break of resistance. Boom, and this was just lovely, riding it all the way up there. Wow. Got out when I started to see this going down. I was like, nope. Took some profit along the way. Textbook play. Very lovely. Good job. And last but not least, everybody's favorite online retailer, Amazon. This was nice, and I actually called this in chat, and I told everybody way before this happened. Like, let me see something. So, hold on. All right, so you can see right here, boom, double top Amazon. Before anything happened, I already saw this coming. I saw the double top. This was in chat. This was like 11 o'clock a.m., right? Called it out, put it out there to the chat. Then, when the plays start developing a little bit more, look at that. Draw the underline, boom, she's done. She was at this point, I mean, you could have made a lot of money on this play. Well, to be fair, Amazon calls are expensive. I mean, puts are expensive. So you would have, but even if you bought one contract, that was like 4 or 5 deviations out of the money, you could have still banked on this. I mean, every step of the way, boom, right there. So, and look what happened. Boom, got out right at the bottom. And I'm glad I did because it went back up. It bounced. But I understood that we also had a gap to fill, right? Now, the funny thing about this is that we didn't fill it all the way because it should have gone like all the way down here, but it didn't. And sometimes it doesn't. Like it'll be a partial gap fill. But these candles happened like super fast. It was like shroom, shroom. And that's what you love because that's guaranteed money. It's the textbook easiest money. And this is what I mean. You got to buy low and sell high. We don't buy high and sell. Like some people would have gotten to calls up here like, oh my God, Amazon's just been going up and up and up. You would have got clapped. I mean, with Amazon contracts, I mean, you could have easily lost $10,000, $15,000 on a move like this. Easily, easily. That's why you got to know what you're doing, bro. Like this, it's not a game. You got to have the patience to wait for the setup. We don't trade this chop inside this channel. This is all chop, 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 chop. Because if you get in calls right here, you're like, oh yeah, nope. Oh man, get in calls, dude. Nope. You know what I mean? Get in puts. Nope. So we don't trade channel trade. You wait for it to make a decision. Then you get confirmation. Boom. Got a little bit scary right there, but that's okay. Boom. You're good. I was a little bit risky, but I knew that this was a rejection because we had already got the double top. So I'm like, yeah, we're good. It could have also broken out too. Don't get me wrong. But the chances of that with the double top were not likely at this point. So I was like, yeah. I mean, this was a super risky entrance. But I was like, I'm playing Amazon, and these contracts is expensive, so I got to go for the. I got to go hard or go home, right? Because it's not often that we play with expensive contracts like this. Because you got to like have money. I mean, I have now my account. I can do a little something, but you know, in times past, we would have had to leverage our account and use margin and everything to the. We would have had to bet the ranch to make, you know, to do a play like this. Fortunately, now we don't have to, but this was nice. So we got the small account challenge going on here. We did take an L today. I am transparent. I don't just show you the wins. We do show you the losses. Did lose $117 on these Wells Fargo calls. I got in too early. Let's see here. So actually, hold on. Yeah. So what was supposed to have happened, I got in right here at the close of this candle because I wanted to wait for the confirmation, of course, like a good little trader. And we broke the 200 MA. That's not cool at all. But we got a little hope right here coming back. And by the way, this was an overreaction. And what do we know about stocks that overreact? They have a opposite equal reaction. When Tiffany sold off, over the course of the next 2 days after Tiffany sold off, they were up tremendously. BlackRock sold off. After the next 2 days, they came back tremendously. I mean, this is ridiculous. We were down 8% on Wells Fargo, but Wells Fargo being below $30, especially with the recent rally we've seen in bank stocks. Come on, that's a bargain. I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. And since I have a longer time horizon with this, there's time for this to recover, which it will. So, and it's oversold on the RSI. So it's good. It's all good. Now, here's the danger with this play. If you go out to a longer time frame, we kind of got a head and shoulders type dealio going on, and we do have a little bit ways more to go before we hit the 200 MA on the 1 month daily chart. I don't love that, and we're red on the MACD. I do not love it because but the good news is we can only go but so low, because if we hit this, it's gotta have to turn around at that point, right? So I'll probably lose another 150 to $200 if it does come down here, but then it'll, go back up. And I have enough time on these to where it honestly doesn't matter. So, if you look at the longer time scales, it's not looking too good for me because we could, even if you look at the 3 month daily chart, we could come down to about 27.36. I'm not loving that prospect, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't love that there is kind of a double top on this. That's not looking too sexy for me right now. But, we know when to cut losses. We got the stop loss going on. If we get anything past this, if this breaks down, we're definitely going to get out. And we'll take an L. We'll find another place to allocate our capital. But I had good justification for the position. And I have, I believe it'll work out. So, and they have earnings. So we got to get the run up for earnings. I forgot all about that. Let me see. When is their earnings? Earnings. Earnings 7/21. Yeah, so next month. It's a ways to go, but not that they're going to blow it out of the water or anything, but you know, we'll see. 5-day change, 88 cents. So we're still up over the course of the weekly basis. So we'll see. Last and certainly not least, today we had another record-setting day. This is just getting out of hand. Like seriously. I mean, I wake up and I can't even believe it. So all the plays that I showed you guys today, the Apple, Amazon, Boeing, SPY, Tesla, and Zoom, this is the final result. That Amazon, ooh-wee, Lord have mercy. And the thing is, this play right here, and I waited. This is because I wanted to be done trading before 12, but I couldn't because this play still had to develop, and I had to wait and wait and wait. And I'm just like, oh my god, when is this going to be done? Because I knew that this play was going to hit because it had a gap to fill. So I went in, and I went in bigly. Everything else is, these are good gains. Let's not devalue them. But Amazon is the bulk of this. So I'm really grateful. This is time and effort and hours of studying and staying up late and losing sleep and just putting your whole life into this. And it's finally starting to pay off after years of struggling in the market. Years of losing and blowing up accounts and just starting from square one. But it's finally happening, guys, and anybody can do it. You just have to put in the time, work, and dedication. And I want to thank everybody who subscribes and likes my videos. I want to thank all the members of the chat. I'm doing this for you guys. I've been in chats before. I'm of the mindset that you should teach a man to fish and not give him one. Like, what's the saying? If you teach a man to fish, if you give a man a fish, he eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he eat for a lifetime. So signals is wonderful. And I know a lot of people don't want to do the work or they don't have the time. But really learn how to – it's basically like printing money once you understand what you're doing. Now, this is a hot streak, and hot streaks don't last forever. I'm probably going to have a losing streak at some point. But I'll take it while the getting's good. So just have a trading strategy. Just stick to your trading strategy. Know what you're doing. Try to get better every day. Don't get discouraged. I know a lot of people. I was discouraged a lot of times when I had losing days, and I'm still not exempt from losing days. This is just a hot streak right now, but they come and they go. But just always stay focused, stay humble. Don't When you do have good days, like I try not to let myself get ahead of myself, right? I try to manage my emotions. Like I try to treat losses and gains the same. Like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, whatever. Because if you get too hype about a win or you get too hype about a loss, it could cloud your judgment. So you got to stay level-headed no matter how much you make or how much you lose. I mean, I've shown you guys in prior videos, I was in positions where I was down $5, $10, $15,000 before it went green. So it looks all glamorous, but understand that it's not as glamorous. It doesn't feel as glamorous after you've gone through so much to get here, because it takes so much work. So keep that in mind. That's all the time we have for today. Remember, plan your trades, trade your plan. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs, you know what happens to them. They get slaughtered. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Follow us on Instagram and join our Discord server where we are live until 5 and we do something before 2 something. The links are posted as always in the description below. Until next time. XenoTrader,